So we all know by now that altcoins are getting you completely wrecked. But what about Bitcoin? Because everybody is bullish on Bitcoin right now, right? I mean, the price is going up, so people buy. People don't want to buy when the price is down. People want to buy it high. Okay, that's how it works. ETFs, of course, big news, everybody bullish, everybody happy. But let's compare cycles because the chart is leading. Charts are always leading, and after that, the narratives follow. Sounds weird, but it's actually how it works. So let's get right into it. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your bell notification. Very shortly before we begin about Bitcoin though. At the moment of recording, this video is a little pre-recorded. I'm a little short on time this weekend. But the altcoin market is still in this falling wedge right here. And although we tried to break it again, for now, you know, at the moment of recording, we got a beautiful rejection basically on this trend line again. So the altcoins still did not manage to do what Bitcoin did half a year ago. Okay, that should show you that altcoins is... Go away. Don't even pay attention to altcoins. Stupid. You lose money. That's it. Done. Also, Bitcoin dominance. We've been talking about this for I don't know how long. And look how beautiful this is playing out. That's what I said. Like, it's Bitcoin season. It has been Bitcoin season since September last year. That's almost a year. Right? And Bitcoin season is now in more full glory than it was before. That's what we said, right? Like every time the Bitcoin dominance tried to get above this level right here, it basically got rejected within a couple of days already, and it came all the way down, and that was what you could call a pretty small altcoin season, especially this one in June, because this happened while Bitcoin was going up. Right, so even though Bitcoin was outperforming USDT or USD, altcoins were outperforming Bitcoin. So altcoins were really outperforming the dollar. Therefore, altcoins did really well. However, now altcoins are getting crushed by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going up right now, right? However, is this new money flowing into the market? Let's analyze Bitcoin first, because we all know by now, buying altcoins is stupid. You can better buy Bitcoin, higher reward, lower risk, and later, when it's actually time, convert your altcoins in, convert your Bitcoin into altcoins, right? But when to buy Bitcoin? What's the expectation? Well, I can at least already tell you, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we can look at the charts and check what they are telling us. So let's start with saying at least that the total 3 divided by the Bitcoin market cap. So this is basically, if you ever look at a altcoin compared to Bitcoin, right, on its Bitcoin pair, this is random Cadena I have in my screen right now. You see that it's getting murdered completely. Like if you bought Cadena, like anywhere you got wrecked. Bad coin. Right? Well, at least the coin not bad, but the returns are bad. But basically, this is every altcoin on its Bitcoin pair. That's how you should look at this. For the people new to the channel or have skipped this part or have missed it, if you go to your trading view, hit the plus button, you can type total 3/BTC, hit enter, and then this is what you get. So basically, when this is going down, big Bitcoin season, right? This is basically the Bitcoin dominance reversed. Big Bitcoin season, right? So you should have sold your altcoins for Bitcoin here. Same here. We had a big accumulation phase where you should have bought altcoins with your Bitcoin with a massive uptrend. We had a prime example distribution phase, basically, right? And people were screaming, oh, alt season. Alt season. Major resistance. It's not alt season, you're high, right? It's coming down right now very hard, and that's what you see, that again, altcoins are getting crushed against Bitcoin. But yeah, like in this area, this is where I'm gonna stack up on altcoins pretty hard, definitely. So when the time comes, we'll talk about that. For now, is the money that like Bitcoin is, you know, flirting with that 30K level right now, you know, getting a little above, getting a little beneath it. You know, it's funny because the macro the longer time frame weekly stochastic RSI is pointing to the downside. So, you know, this should mean that Bitcoin was overbought and it's getting more oversold right now, right? But it's going up instead of down. So that's quite beautiful to see. Usually every time we are up here and we come down, you see a big red candle, right? We're up here, we go down, you see a big multiple red candles. Like basically every time I can, you know, well, except in a full bull market, but also this little part right here, right? We went from 42k to 28. Doesn't look like a lot, but this was a lot, right? However, now, you know, we're doing well. We're doing well, right? But where's the money coming from? Are these like new people's coming into the market, or new people coming into the market, or not? How does that work? Well, if we take a look at the social metrics, it's not that a lot of new people are coming into the market, if you ask me. And that leads me to a very interesting conclusion right here. So let me load this for a second and show you what I mean by that. Because if Bitcoin goes up, the money has to come from somewhere, right? And what you want is new people coming into the market with new money, adding money to the crypto market. However, if you take a look at the social risk, so the people watching YouTube crypto channels, subscribing there, following Twitter analysts, etc., that's still going down. People are losing interest in crypto. So instead of new people coming into crypto, people are leaving crypto right now. Right? So there's no new money coming into crypto right now. So how come Bitcoin goes up right now at this point? Well, it's pretty simple, because they take it out of their altcoins. It's just liquidity moving from one place to another. That's basically what happens, right? You can see that Bitcoin is going up big time right here now, right? If you look at the altcoin market, it's still going down. Right, so people take that altcoin money and put it into Bitcoin, because they now finally see like, oh, yeah, Bitcoin is less risk and higher reward at this moment. Yeah, right. So that's, in my opinion, what's happening right now. And if you look at the USDT dominance, no, it's still in a major macro uptrend, and basically since last year, June, we're pretty much going sideways, right? We're pretty much going sideways. This was in November here. January. This was where Bitcoin broke out. So people, like, we were in this major uptrend, aka money that people had in crypto, in tokens, basically. They were stacking that up and converted it into USDT. Sorry, I'm just awake, right? So people sold their altcoins and their Bitcoin basically by this going up. And you'll see that we broke that trend. We came down, and that was the exact moment, the 9th of January, right? The 9th of January was here, where Bitcoin had a massive first green candle. So we had 1 sideways, 2 sideways, now 3 sideways, right? But that's what's happening right now as well. So people are deploying some stables into Bitcoin, but also mostly they deploying their altcoins into Bitcoin. Now, my strategy, like I said many times before, is buying Bitcoin at low levels, right? Probably like half of the Bitcoin bull market first, whenever it starts, right? Then convert it into altcoins, and then when altcoin bull market starts, ride that. Right now, some people might say, like, is the Bitcoin bull market not already started? It depends what you define as a bull market, of course. In my opinion, it's not. And I have one very simple reason for that. If you look at a previous cycle, for example, here Bitcoin was going down, right? This was a bear market. Again, it depends on your definition. In my opinion, there's a bear market. Then you have the pre-halving year, where it's a pretty much sideways market, right? And then you have the bull market, right? Like, of course, like, this was a obvious bear, right? If there are people that call this a bull market already, right? That pre-halving year where we first go up and then go down again, then you can call this a bull market as well, right? But in my definition of a bull market is not this, My definition of a bull market is this, right? So by that definition, we are definitely not in a bull market now. If we go to 2015, we had a bear market, bottomed, right? We went up, we went down. It's not a bull market. Oh, right. This is a bull market. All right. Now let's compare a couple of things just to, you know, and I don't even have this prepared. I just want to check it out. Like, it's not that I feel like, oh, I know, let me turn on my camera. It's more like, okay, I want to find out. Let me turn on my camera, right? What Bitcoin did in the last cycles as well, we went all the way down, and forget about the, I know there are already people that say like, yeah, no, but this time you had ETFs and blah, blah, blah. Like, there are always good and bad narratives. Like, yeah, okay, now we have good news about ETFs, but then again, we have bad news about recession, money printing, securities for altcoins. We might have good news about, well, BlackRock, the kind of same thing. So there are always good and bad things in the crypto space. At the end of the day, it's all chartable, right? And it's always a reason for it to be a bear or a bull. I don't really care about the reasons, to be honest. That doesn't matter. If it goes up because of this reason or if it goes up because of that reason, I'm mostly interested in it going up. That's kind of my narrative. Yeah, no, so in this bull market, look, the first thing that I already think is quite comparable is the fact that we repeat 2019 quite well, right? We had our high in December 2017. We went down, and a year later in November, we had that major crash, right? Now, what we did right now is we had our high in November, well, 1 month difference in this 4-year cycle. We went down. And in November, we had that major crash, right? It's like, and I am by any means not some kind of a conspiracy thinking type of dude or whatever. Could be very coincidental, but it can also be just cycle behavior. Like, it's not predictable every month. Like, oh, last year in this month that happened, so this year it's going to happen as well. That's not how it works. But it's quite scary how good this plays out so far compared to 2019, right? But that has a touch to it, right? Because what did we do in 2019? We had that major crash in 2019 in November, right? Well, 2018, and then 2019 started. Went sideways for a while, with the first leg up, sideways. Second leg up, sideways. Third leg up, top. All right. What did we do? We went down. Major crash. 2022, November. Sideways. First leg up, sideways. Second leg up, sideways. Third leg up. Is this leg up? This leg? Is this going to mark the high for this year? This might go further. We might go to 35, could be. But is that the final leg? What you have to realize is that in 2019, you have to picture, I don't know if you were there, but we went all the way to 20K, right? And we came all the way down to $3,000. That was horrible. That was way more down than what we did in this cycle. Way more, right? And then we went from the 3K all the way to 14K. Right? People calling this a bull market with this 2x. Can you imagine how people felt here on this 4x? But what did we do at the end of the day? We went down again, down and down and down and down and down. And we basically, well, it didn't make a lot of difference. So we made a double bottom right there. So we came all the way down. It's quite comparable that if we now in this cycle go to 24%. If we go to 19K, that's not the exact math here, but if we go to 19K, that would be kind of what we did right here. right? So even after this, so even though we are seeing a mini version of this whole cycle, this still happened, right? So please don't think that we cannot go down any further. 19K would be the best case scenario, because I can also compare it to the cycle before that. That's where we also came down. We went all the way to $1,200, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot if you think that we started at around 80, right? But we came to $1,200 in that bear market. We came down all the way down to $160, also down way more than we did this cycle. What did we do from there? 160, we went all the way up to 320, right? 2x as well, just like now. And what did we do? We made a double bottom. We even went slightly lower, right? So here we went lower, and here we made a slightly higher high, right? So far, if we make a higher high, that would be the best case scenario, right? The worst case scenario, which is also possible, is that we go lower than that. Now, I do think that the bottom is in for multiple reasons. Also, just purely time, but I can be totally wrong about that, okay? So I'm not saying that can't happen, but I do think that the bottom is in. If you look, let me remove this. If you look at the cycles so far, green is where we are right now, right? This is time-wise, but this is also price-wise, right? We had the red line that you see is the cycle in 2015, and the orange line is 2019, 18, 19. So if you look BTC from the top until the bottom, right? In 2018, 19, it took us 364 days, so exactly 1 year. 2015, it took us 406 days. If the bottom is not in yet, then we are at least already, well, 592 days. And then by the time we actually have the bottom, we're somewhere 600 whatever days. So that's quite twice as long as these cycles so far. Like, that's far off, right? So far, we had our bottom here. This makes more sense to me time-wise, as that's perfectly on average, right, between these two cycles. And if it would have happened here, it would also be understandable. But the longer it takes, the more unrealistic for me it is to think that the bottom is not in yet, because then the cycle will be completely different. And I am not really the type of person that says, yeah, but this time is different. So far, not a single time is different, right? Cycles all behave the same in their own way. Price-wise, however, if this was the bottom, this would have been our best, very best cycle so far, right? Because in both cycles, Bitcoin went down way lower than that. However, that's quite understandable to me, because there are diminishing returns, but there are also diminishing losses in this cycle, and especially in this cycle, you know, or the other way around. People weren't that convinced about crypto yet. It wasn't that mainstream as it is today, and it was all newer, so people got more scared. And these cycles, I also felt like, yeah, okay, I don't know about Bitcoin, maybe it's dead. And people are starting to realize now more and more, like, yeah, it's just another bear market cycle, halving coming, blah, blah, blah. They start to understand it, and they are not really panic selling Bitcoin right now. And that doesn't drive the price that low. Plus, there's more liquidity right now. So, I don't know. I think the bottom is in. But it doesn't mean that we cannot go a lot lower. In fact, if we do not go lower, then this time is different, right? Because if we just do, like, basically on average what we do every cycle so far, and so far Bitcoin is exactly behaving like every cycle so far, then we should come down a lot, right? If we don't, then I feel like, oh, something is off this time. So yeah, that's kind of my view on that. And yeah, there are a lot of things to look at. I mean, if we look, let's look at the monthly chart and see what I can find there, because this is also very interesting. And what I find so interesting about this is that, let me see. Yeah, so I'm looking at the stochastic RSI on the monthly chart, right? And this is basically some kind of a momentum indicator. So every time when we are here, that's overbought, and the longer we are here, the harder Bitcoin goes up, basically. And if we are down here, then Bitcoin is really going down hard as well. That's what you can see, right? What I find quite interesting, like, at least we can say the hard bear market is over, right? Because we are now, this territory, we left that a long time ago, right? And that's what you can see on the chart as well. If you look at this chart, this whole point, this whole territory right here should have been your warning sign, right? This should have been your warning sign, like, oh, we're down here, so Bitcoin is going down hard. So if you are ever in a new cycle, pop this up and you basically know what to do. That's it, right? However, now we are going up again. And it doesn't mean that once we are here, the bull market is over. Once we are here, the bull market starts, right? Look at the, look at this cycle. We were down here. I was here. We were going up, right? This point right here, it's kind of where we are right now. We were going up, right? But, not really yet, right? It was here, by the way. We were going up. But once we were really hovering around right here, the upside, that's where Bitcoin went from $300 to 20K, right? So in the whole time that we were up here, Bitcoin made like a 100x, almost. Right, so it's not too late when you step in here. This is the time where you step in, right? Because even though we are now going up here, that's also what we did right here, right? But what happened? We still came down. We made a double bottom. That's why the stochastic RSI had to reset a little bit more. And then when it really went up, this is where we went crazy. Right? So that's what I find quite interesting as well. Now, let me check. So it's quite interesting. Look, I mean, I'm looking at the bull market support band, and usually you look at that on the weekly, right? That's 20 and 21 weekly moving average. And the bull market support band does exactly what the name says. It's the support in the bull market, right? Once we are up there and we find that as support, and that's what you see, then you are going up. In a bear market, it's what rejects you all the time. We tried here, got rejected. We tried here, got rejected. Tried here, got rejected. Fell all the way down. Had another try. No, sorry, one more time, right? And now we broke it again. But it's not a fake out or anything, right? We broke, retest. Again, went up, retest right here perfectly. Bam, up again, right? So the bull market support band is driving us up right now. Looking very good. But you have to realize, also, in 2019, we also finally broke it, right? We went up, up, up. But at a certain point in September 2019, which is comparable to September 2023, given the 4-year cycle, we got down at it again, right? And we basically flirted with that whole band. And at a certain point, that band, it fucked us over, and we went all the way down. And only then, when we broke it in April 2020, which is comparable to April 2024, right? So a year from now, that's where we really broke it and got up and started the bull market, right? So what is definitely possible is that we, do something like this, right? We go down. It's not the exact pattern, of course, right? But we go down somewhere, maybe here, right? And then we go up again. And then after the Bitcoin halving, the blue line, we go a little sideways, maybe a little down. And 2 months after the halving, usually it's where we skyrocket. That's what you see. Halving, sideways for 2 months, moon. Here, halving, down for 2 months, little sideways, moon. And what happens before the halving can go all places. In this cycle, we first went down very hard. We went up, down. It was all with all. It was going up here though, right? But nothing parabolic. Parabolic happened here. This cycle as well. What happened here? We went a year before the halving, right? We went all the way up, went all the way down again. And at the halving, we were basically sitting at the same level, give or take, right? And only after that, we went up. Well, that's what Bitcoin is doing right now as well. We can go everywhere. And my general thesis is that until we get the halving, we can go to 35. We can go back to 16, whatever, right? All with all, that's a small range if we look later at it in hindsight. And then from the halving, a month or two, and then we really start the bull market. That's usually what we do. Usually that's exactly what we do, right? So yeah, keep that in mind. Even though if the stochastic RSI on the monthly is like very overbought, the bull market didn't start like until here, right? So this whole time, right? This whole time here, right? You cannot try to catch the bottom. So don't try to do that. It won't work, right? But what I am suggesting is that so far, these pre-halving years are very hard because people think it's still a bear market. And then it surprises them. And people still think the bull market has started. And then it surprises them. Right? Nobody knows in such a pre-halving year. All I see is the average of Bitcoin going up and down. And now with 30K, I'm not buying at this point. You know, come and laugh at me once we hit 35 or whatever. If that happens, also fine. It doesn't change the fact that we still can definitely go to 18. Right? That chance so far has played out every time. Right? So I'm putting my money on that. Right? If I'm wrong, if this time is different, we'll see. But I'm not putting my money on that. So therefore, I am a fan of buying the dips with Bitcoin right now, but I'm not buying basically the cycle high. That's stupid. So that's how I think that it's going to play out for Bitcoin. And like I said in other videos, like buying altcoins right now is just like no, that's stupid. Yeah, and we have all these moving averages, right? But like, it's not that we are above every single moving average right now. Yeah, so that's strong. We have the 50 moving average, the 100, 200 bull market support band. We all broke it. But yeah, then again, we also broke all of those here in 2019, and we still made almost a double bottom. It doesn't. Such a pre-halving year, like, I don't know, man. I'm very careful when it comes to that because it's still like we were going great right here, and the chart suggested like, oh yeah, we're doing fine. Well, no. So yeah. One other thing that I find is pretty interesting. People, I see these arguments a lot, like when new highs? Will it happen this year? Will it happen next year? Let's take a look. I mean, we had a high here in end of 2000. So far, that's always the case. End 2013, end of 2017, end of 2021. So my expectation is that the cycle high will happen end of 2025, right? That's the 4-year cycle so far. But when can we break our all-time high? Can we go surpass 70K this year? Well, this all-time high was broken here. And this was March 2017. Okay, so that was if this 2013, we are now in 2023. Let me 21. So it's 2 years after. It's now 2 years after our high. So did we break it here 2 years after our high? Now that should have been here. This was the point where we were fucking with the lows, right? So we did not break this all-time high until 4 years later, right? So this is our 2025 right now. So based on this cycle, we should not see a new high until 2025. Okay, next. Based on this cycle, we had a high in 2017. When did we break that? In 2000 and, very accurate here, well, 2021. Right, so that's for us end of 2024, beginning 2025. So far, Bitcoin has never made a new all-time high in its pre-halving year, right? We are now in the pre-halving year. This was the pre-halving year. This was the pre-halving year. This year, we won't make a new all-time high based on this, right? Anything can happen, but still, the 4-year cycle are playing out like prime examples, right? So I'm not saying like, now it's going to change. Like, why? What suggests to you that no, right? So my prediction is that this year, for sure, we won't make a new all-time high. Definitely not. Next year, chance very low. But maybe end of next year. And otherwise, beginning 2025, we could. Yeah, we could. Right, and all-time high, new all-time high. Yeah, of course. I mean, end of 2025, still in the expectation. So, you know, it does sound like a long time. But it is. Yeah, and I know in crypto, a week feels like a year. Right, but yeah, we have no hyperbolic time chamber, so we have to deal with what it is. And in the meantime, that's good because you can accumulate. You can accumulate the dips, right? And then again, what I've showed you before is when was it the best time to buy altcoins? Well, here it was in beginning 2021, right? When was the best time to buy altcoins? Here, because here altcoins were sitting at the lowest point of Bitcoin. But that's funny. Right? Because if you look at that, you will see, where the fuck's my chart? Here. You will see this. Beginning of 2021 was this right here. End of 2020, beginning 2000. That was the same freaking week, basically, as we broke the all-time high. So if we have to repeat that, right, then you could say like, okay, first ride the Bitcoin, like half of the Bitcoin bull market. Then you can buy the low on the altcoins and ride that bull market. That was the exact same point as where we broke this high, right? So based on that, you should not even buy altcoins until we break 70K, right? I'm not saying that if you do it before then you won't make money, but if you want to make the most out of it, right? But again, it's a prediction based on what happened before. It's not a confirmation or anything. Nobody can give you that confirmation. So yeah, that's kind of my Bitcoin outlook, and I want to leave it there, otherwise it's taking too long again. But if I forgot about something, if you want to add something, ask something, whatever, you know, leave a comment. I'm happy to respond to you. Let me know if you like the video by liking the video, of course. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification, leave a comment with anything, push it into YouTube's algorithm, and I will see you guys very soon.